Stop and listen carefully, because this message did not arrive by accident. Archangel Michael says there is a moment closing in on you, and before the day comes to an end, heaven is going to place a sign in front of you so clear, so personal, and so unmistakable that you will know it could not have been coincidence. You may have been asking for reassurance, wondering about someone close to you, questioning silence, reading between the lines, or trying to understand what has been left unsaid. But there is something else you need to know. Heaven has not been silent. Heaven has been arranging. Heaven has been preparing. And what looks like delay is actually divine positioning. Stay with this message because the sign is connected to a conversation, a hidden feeling, and a door that is already beginning to move. Comment ready if you sense that God is speaking to you right now. I know you have felt the weight of uncertainty. I know there have been moments when you looked at a text and read it 3 times, or heard a voice and felt that something underneath the words was unfinished. You sensed there was more. You sensed that someone around you was carrying feelings they had not yet spoken aloud. And that quiet tension has not gone unnoticed. Heaven sees the pauses, the almosts, the unsent message, the unfinished sentence, the glance that lingered, the sudden change in energy. Do not dismiss what your spirit has been picking up, because what is hidden is about to be brought into the light. The truth is not far away. In fact, the first confirmation may come sooner than expected, and it may arrive through the very person you least expected to speak first. Type Amen if you believe God is arranging the timing perfectly. Archangel Michael stands watch over the threshold of this moment, and there is a reason the atmosphere feels charged. This is not just about emotions being revealed. This is about divine clarity, entering a space that has been clouded for far too long. Some of you have been carrying questions in your heart that no human explanation has satisfied. Why did they pull back? Why did they go quiet? Why did the connection feel stronger and then suddenly become complicated? Why has your spirit refused to release the matter, even when your mind tried to move on? There is more happening than you realize. A hidden conversation has already begun behind the scenes, not always in words, but in conviction. In conviction that keeps returning, in conviction that keeps pressing on the heart. Something unexpected is approaching, and the next revelation changes everything. Comment God is working if you can feel that there is movement you cannot yet see. Do not ignore this part. The sign God is preparing is not random, and it is not generic. It will speak directly to the concern you have been holding in secret. It may come as a message, a repeated phrase, a moment of unusual timing, a name appearing where it should not, or a sudden openness that breaks through after a long silence. But what makes it powerful is not simply that it appears. It is that it arrives at the appointed hour. The sign will not only confirm what your heart has suspected, it will also expose what your fear has been trying to deny. You have been standing at a crossroads between doubt and trust, between waiting and surrender, between overthinking and peace. Heaven is about to give you enough light for the next step, not the whole map, because God is guiding you one lamp at a time. Type 1, believe if you are ready for clarity. Maybe you have been tired of hoping. Maybe your spirit has grown weary from wondering whether the connection is real, whether the feeling is mutual, whether the door is ever going to open, whether the situation can still be redeemed. But listen closely. The very thing that has been testing your patience is also revealing your depth. Heaven never wastes a waiting season. What has seemed like emotional delay has been refining your discernment. It has been teaching you to hear beyond the surface and to recognize what is true even before it is spoken. That is why the sign must come before the day ends. Timing matters now. The moment is becoming ripe, and before the season closes, something will line up so precisely that your doubts will lose their voice. Comment still standing if you have endured longer than people know. There is a specific kind of confirmation being woven together for you, and I need you to stay alert, because it may not come in the way you expect. Heaven often speaks through pattern, through repetition, through the quiet return of something you thought was gone. A lamp appears in the darkness, and then another. A star breaks through the clouds, and then the sky changes enough for you to notice it was there all along. That is the kind of evidence being prepared around you. One signal will lead to another. One phrase will echo into the next conversation. One detail will unlock the meaning of a moment you almost overlooked. Do not let impatience make you blind. The sign is not just coming to comfort you. It is coming to correct your perspective. Type faith if you are willing to trust the process even before the full picture is visible. Before we continue, I feel led to share something with you. Over the years, thousands of people have reached out asking for powerful prayers they could pray during difficult seasons of life. That's why I put together a collection of some of the most powerful faith-building prayers I know. These prayers have helped people find peace during anxiety, strength during hardship, and hope when they felt like giving up. The best part is that I decided to make it completely free. If you would like a copy, simply check the link in the description, and I'll send it to you. Do not wait until another difficult season arrives. Take it now while it's available and keep it close for the days ahead. Now, there is something else you need to know. Some of you are about to be astonished by how heaven uses ordinary moments to deliver extraordinary reassurance. A casual remark may suddenly carry weight. An unexpected call may bring the very tone you have been waiting to hear. A door that seemed closed may shift without warning, not because you forced it, but because God had already begun to open it from the other side. Keep reading carefully because there is a hidden blessing in this that many would miss. The person close to you may not yet know how to say everything they feel, but their hesitation itself is becoming part of the reveal. Heaven is using their silence, their confusion, even their resistance, to build a testimony that cannot be denied when the truth finally surfaces. And yes, it will surface. Before long, you will realize the signs were speaking all along. Comment blessed if you are ready to receive what God has been preparing. There is another truth being revealed, and it is this. Not every delay means denial, and not every pause means absence. Sometimes heaven is protecting the purity of what is forming by slowing the release until the heart is ready. That is why you have felt both anticipation and restraint. There has been a holy tension around this matter, as if something delicate was being guarded from premature exposure. Archangel Michael is speaking over that tension now, declaring that the time of hiddenness is nearing its end. You may not receive the entire answer tonight, but you are going to receive enough to know that you are not imagining what you sense. The confirmation will be unmistakable. The sign will carry emotional weight, and when it arrives, your spirit will recognize the fingerprint of God on it immediately. Comment, "My time is coming," if you believe the season is shifting. Pay attention, because heaven is not only addressing the relationship or the concern itself. Heaven is also healing the part of you that has learned to expect disappointment. That wound has whispered too often. It has told you to brace yourself, to assume the worst, to stop hoping before hoping hurts again. But the Lord is bringing light to that inner room. The clouds that have hung over your heart are beginning to break. Through those openings, stars are becoming visible again. Not all at once, but enough to remind you that the sky was never empty. The promises were always there. The guidance was always there. The love of God was always there, moving in ways you could not trace. And now the proof is closer than you realize. Do not leave this message, because the next revelation is about to explain why the sign must come before the day ends. There are conversations already happening that you have not heard, but heaven has. A heart that stayed guarded is being softened. A thought that was buried is rising again. A decision that was postponed is returning with new urgency. Someone close to you is being pressed inwardly to acknowledge what they have been avoiding. That does not mean every answer is ready yet, but it does mean the inner conflict is no longer hidden. The walls are beginning to shake in places where no one else could see them. That is why you feel the atmosphere changing. That is why a strange restlessness may have touched you. It is not random. It is the sign that the hidden movement has begun. Keep your spirit attentive. Something significant is approaching, and it will not remain quiet for much longer. Type protected if you know God has been covering you all along. I want you to understand the tenderness of this moment. Heaven is not rushing to expose truth just to startle you. Heaven is releasing truth to steady you. There is a difference. The revelation is meant to bring peace, not confusion. It is meant to restore confidence, not create chaos. So if your heart has been trembling, breathe. If you have been torn between fear and expectation, breathe again. The Lord has been weaving the timing with precision. Even the small details you dismissed may become important later. A repeated word, a sudden memory, a song at the right moment, a message that lands with unusual force, an interruption that seems inconvenient but turns out to be protection. These are not accidental fragments. They are pieces of a scroll being unsealed in your life. And when the scroll opens, you will see that heaven was speaking far more clearly than you realized. Type 777 if you are expecting divine alignment. There is a hidden obstacle you must not overlook, and it is impatience. Not because impatience is proof of failure, but because impatience can make you misread a sacred process. The danger is not that heaven is late. The danger is that you might leave too soon, stop listening too early, or dismiss the very sign you have been asking for, because it arrives wrapped in humility rather than spectacle. The Lord often speaks in ways that require a heart still enough to notice, so remain until the end. Stay alert. Keep reading. The message is moving toward a moment of undeniable confirmation, but it will not shout over your noise. It will meet your willingness. And that willingness is what allows the revelation to become peace. Comment I trust God if you are choosing to wait with expectation instead of fear. You may have wondered if you were being too sensitive, too hopeful, too invested in what was only a feeling. But heaven has a way of validating the quiet knowing of the heart when the time is right. The reason you have not been able to fully let this go is because God has not finished with it. The reason this concern keeps returning is because it still belongs to a living story, not a closed one. Before the day comes to an end, a detail will emerge that makes the hidden plain. It might be subtle to others, but to you it will be luminous. You will hear it, see it, or sense it, and your spirit will say, "That is it. That is the sign. That is the confirmation. That is the hand of God touching what you thought was uncertain." Comment ready if you are prepared for heaven's timing. Many people watching this message have been carrying burdens they never talk about. If that sounds like you, I want to give you something special. I created a free prayer guide filled with powerful prayers for protection, breakthrough, peace, healing, and strength. Thousands of believers have already downloaded it and shared how much it encouraged them during difficult moments. There is absolutely no cost. I simply wanted to place this resource into the hands of people who need it most. If you feel led, go to the description and claim your free copy before continuing. One prayer prayed at the right moment can change more than you realize. Now listen carefully because the next part of this message is important. The beauty of this prophetic moment is that it does not only reveal someone else's feelings, it also reveals your worth. There is a reason the Lord would not let you settle for empty words or half-truths. Your heart was built for sincerity. Your journey has been too costly for confusion to remain forever, so when the sign comes, it will not simply answer a question. It will honor your endurance. It will vindicate your patience. It will remind you that you were never foolish for hoping, and never alone while waiting. This is why Archangel Michael brings protection with the message, because the revelation requires courage. Truth can be beautiful, but it can also be intense. Still, do not fear it. The same God who prepared the sign is the God who prepared your heart to receive it. Type Amen if you are ready to see what was hidden. and now the atmosphere is shifting more quickly. In the coming days, perhaps even before this day fully closes, something will move with unusual precision. A communication, a gesture, a coincidence that is too exact to dismiss. A moment where the usual distance suddenly gives way to openness. You may not get a full confession all at once, but you will get enough to know the story is changing. That is the mercy in this. Heaven often gives breadcrumbs before banquets, clues before clarity, light before sunrise. Do not resent the small beginnings. A lamp does not need to light the whole road to prove that dawn is coming. It only needs to show you the next step, and that next step is already being lit. Comment I receive if you are opening your heart to divine confirmation. There is something else you need to know before we close. The sign is not only for your comfort, it is also for your direction. Some doors are opening because God is preparing restoration. Other doors are closing because He is protecting you from staying in confusion longer than necessary. You may discover that one answer arrives only to reveal a deeper answer beneath it. That is how heaven works when it is healing a tender place. First, the light falls on the surface. Then it reaches the wound. Then it shows you the path forward. So if you feel emotional while hearing this, do not resist it. Tears can be a threshold too. They can mark the end of striving and the beginning of receiving. The sign is coming with gentleness and authority, and it will be enough. Type "Yes, Lord" if you are surrendering the outcome to God. Do not skip over the stillness that follows. Sometimes the sign comes softly, and the power is in what changes inside you when you see it. You stop asking in panic. You stop searching in circles. You stop forcing what God is already handling. A new confidence rises, and with it comes peace. That peace is not small. It is the evidence that heaven has touched the matter. The hidden feelings, the unanswered question, the long-standing concern, all of it is moving toward resolution in God's timing. And before the day ends, you may realize that what you feared was lost was actually being preserved. What you thought was hidden was being guarded. What you assumed was delayed was being developed. Comment "Blessed" if you can feel peace returning. I want to speak directly to the part of you that is tired of waiting for proof. The Lord sees that tiredness. He knows the battle between faith and frustration. He knows the temptation to settle for uncertainty because it feels easier than hoping again. But this is not the season to abandon discernment. This is the season to watch. The next revelation will not require you to strain. It will simply appear. It may be as simple as a message arriving at the exact right moment, a name being mentioned unexpectedly, or a door opening in a way that mirrors a previous prayer you almost forgot you prayed. That is how heaven confirms what it has already decided. So remain until the end of this day in expectation, because there is still time for God to speak. Comment "Still standing" if you know you have not come this far to doubt now. Archangel Michael says the atmosphere around you is carrying both protection and promise. Protection from false assumptions, protection from premature conclusions, protection from the ache of thinking you missed your moment. You did not miss it. You are approaching it, and when the sign is revealed, it will quiet the fears that have been pressing against your heart. The sky may not clear all at once, but enough stars will appear through the clouds for you to know where you stand. Enough light will touch the path for you to keep moving. Enough truth will be spoken for your heart to rest. That is the grace of this hour. The Lord is not confusing you. He is clarifying you. He is drawing your attention to what matters. He is preparing you for a truth that will feel like mercy. Type "Faith" if you are choosing to believe before you see fully. And now we come to the edge of the revelation. I need you to hear this clearly. The sign will not be weak, and it will not be vague. It will carry the weight of heaven's attention. It will feel personal because it is personal. It will feel timed because it is timed. It will feel impossible to manufacture because only God could arrange it this way. Whether it comes through words, timing, action, or an unmistakable change in atmosphere, it will confirm that someone close to you is finally revealing what they truly feel. And with that revelation will come a second gift, the gift of peace, because you will no longer have to live inside the question. That is why this message found you now. The day is not over, and God is not finished speaking. Stay open. Stay ready. The answer is closer than you think, and when it appears, you will know heaven has been watching over every step. Comment "My time is coming" if you receive this prophecy with faith. Before you leave, remember that my free prayer collection is waiting for you in the description below. Thousands of people have already downloaded it and used these prayers during seasons of anxiety, uncertainty, spiritual battles, and breakthrough. I made it completely free because I want every believer to have access to powerful prayers when they need them most. If this message encouraged you today, make sure you claim your free copy before you go. And if this message spoke to your heart, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and leave your prayer request in the comments so this community can stand with you in faith. May God bless you, strengthen you, and guide every step ahead.